think in many ways we're quite old-fashioned. We think that if you're a politician in charge of a department and a department does its job as badly as the Home Office has clearly been doing, then you should resign. That's the way it always used to be. And how much worse can it get? So people have died. People have lost their jobs. They have lost their futures. And people working in the National Health Service all their lives, suddenly they lose their jobs. They're not entitled to even go to the National Health Service. I mean, it could not be worse. And yet, though, the Home Secretary thinks, I can apologise and it'll be all right. Well, it won't be.
Amber Rudd must quit.
I really think she should quit.
Now, is that because you're saying, as Jeremy Corbyn did yesterday, that this was deliberate policy by ministers? And in which case, what is the evidence it was deliberate?
Okay, so the evidence it comes in layers. The first one is that they decided that they had to cut back on immigration to tens of thousands. That's what they said. Now, clearly they can't control and they couldn't control EU migration. So what they had to do was for everybody that wasn't an EU migrant, they had to make it as difficult as possible for them to be able to come into the country or to stay in the country. So that was deliberate. They then talked about having a hostile environment. And that culture is really important. You instill that into the Home Office and you can make all the difference in terms of what the officials think that their job is. You send go-home vans around the place. This was a deliberate policy to make life difficult. And then the icing on the cake was that when they passed the new legislation, which was the legislation where landlords and employers had to check to see whether someone was an illegal immigrant, they consciously took out of the legislation protection for Commonwealth citizens.